Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we are going to be reviewing the Alpine A110, and yes, it is not Alpine, it's Alpine. It's a French automobile manufacturing company. And before we dive into the nitty-gritty details of the car, I just want to thank Alpine Group for loaning me the car over the weekend. If you guys have not checked out my previous video surprising my friends and family with a new car, you guys should go check that out. I'll leave the link in the description as well as somewhere on screen right now. So without further ado, let's dive right in. In today's video, I'm going to be covering 4 parts. 1, the exterior of the car. 2, the interior of the car. 3, how it drives, how it handles, the 0 to 100, the weight, acceleration, etc, etc. And lastly, I'll do a cost analysis breakdown on exactly how much it costs to own this car. So this is the 2023 Alpine A110 Plus in the classic Alpine blue. It has 18-inch auto-fuchs wheels with a dual-function Brembo aluminum brake calipers that incorporate the parking brake into the main rear caliper, saving 2.5 kilos. Now, a lot of people say it kind of looks like a mix between an Audi TT and a Porsche Cayman, and I can see why. These are their classic twin headlights and their distinctive bonnet spines. You also have 100 litres of boot space in the rear, which is not too bad considering this would probably be a second car for most customers. Something to take note, the trunk gets a little hot after driving for upwards of 20 minutes, so try not to put any food or electronics in there. As for the front, you can open it by lifting the latch near the left passenger seat. And well, you have another 96 litres of boot space here, and this compartment also does get hot after driving for a bit, so do take note of that. Now moving on to the interior quality and design of the car, which I love. It's a very French thing, but their volume controls are designed this way on the right of the steering wheel. You also have column-mounted metal pedal shifters that feel so good to the touch, it definitely does not feel cheap. As for the drive modes, there are 3. Press the sport button once to activate sports mode, and press and hold it to activate track mode. Note that in track mode, you can only drive it in manual. Now this is one of my favorite parts of the interior, the center console, which resembles that of a Ferrari 458. It really makes you feel like you're in a fighter jet's cockpit. And this is their car key as well, very interesting concept. And this is the storage cubby, decently sized. Underneath the center console, there's still some space as well, but to be honest, it's not that easily accessible and things are going to be rolling around as you take corners with the car. And there's also surprisingly no glove box compartment. And for the door, no storage compartment either. But there is still some space behind the driver's and passenger's seats that could fit my mid-sized bag and camera equipment. As for the quality and design, it's immaculate. The stitching, lightweight seatbelt seats that hug you and keep you in position as you take corners all add to the impeccable quality of the car. Parking in this car is easy as well. It's only 3.85 meters in length, while the normal average car is between 4.4 to 4.8 meters, and your typically chauffeur-driven cars like the S-Class are 5.3 meters. It also has a parking camera, so don't worry about that. Now to park, just press the N button and hold it to put it into park mode, and then lift the electronic parking brake. So now for how it drives, there are a couple of variants of the Alpine A110. There's the base Alpine A110, and then you have the A110 Plus, then the A110S, then the A110 GT, and then lastly you have the A110R. So this is the 2023 A110 Plus, which means it has 252 horsepower with 320 Newton meters of torque. It brings you 0 to 100 in 4.5 seconds. So something very unique about Alpine cars, or at least the Alpine A110, is that it's really lightweight. So the curb weight on this car is 1,094 kilos. And just to give you guys some context, for those of you who know, I drive the Polestar 2. My car is 2,100 kilos. The regular Porsche Cayman or Audi TT, these are all 1,300 kilos. And this car is 1,094 kilos. So there are a lot of things that the manufacturer has done in order to reduce the weight of this car. So having driven the car for the past 2 days, it really hugs the road really well when you are maneuvering the curves. It zips in and out of traffic really quickly because it's very agile, it's very small. Parking, no problem. I parallel park, vertical park, all the different parkings, no problem at all. It's really easy to squeeze into tight parking lots as well. Handling is really good and it sounds amazing, but of course, you have to drive it in sports mode. You just have to. It just sounds that much better. You can hear the pops and bangs. But again, it's subjective. If you guys don't like pops and bangs, then you can very well just drive it in the regular mode. Now, for the last segment, we're going to do a cost analysis breakdown of the car. Now, for those of you who follow my TikTok and Instagram, I usually do this series called the How Much Must You Earn series, where basically I do a cost analysis breakdown of the different cars, and then I talk about how much it actually costs to own a car, including your servicing, insurance, road tax, petrol, everything in. And I do some simple math and some formulas in order to calculate how much you must earn in order to afford the car comfortably and uncomfortably. So we're going to bring that series in and we're going to do a how much must you earn in order to own a car like this. So this A110 Plus currently costs $285,000 at this current point of time. The Cat B COE is around about $96,000. Now you add both of those up, is $381,000. So 40% of that, your down payment cost you $152,000. So the remaining loan tenure will be 84 months because this is a 2023. So if you're going to buy brand new, then you would have the whole 10 years, which I mean loan tenures you can only stretch up to 84 months. At the current interest rate of 2.48%, you're looking at around about $2,973 in monthly installments. Now the insurance, again, it differs from person to person depending on age, depending on driving experience, depending on the NCD, which is no claims discount. I'm gonna buffer it and set it at around about $2,500 a year. Road tax on this guy is not too bad. It's $976. Just to give you guys some context, my Merc CLA was around about $500, but my current Polestar 2 costs slightly over $4,000 a year. This car's only sitting at $976 in road tax every year. I think it's decent. I think it's reasonable. Servicing, if you're gonna buy brand new, you are going to have warranty, but I'm just going to buffer and set aside $500 every year. Parking, again, this one depends on where you work at. Some people's offices are CBD, some people's offices are in the heartland areas. So I'm just gonna set aside $300 a month. And then petrol on this car is going to cost you around about $500 to $600 a month. Again, it really depends on what you're using the car for. If it's going to be a weekend car, it's not going to cost you that much. If you're going to use this as a daily driver, then probably maybe $500 to $600. Again, it depends on how many km you drive. If it's just to work and back, it's not going to cost that much. I'm going to set aside $500 a month. And by the way, you can just pump 95 in this car. You don't have to go 98, V-Power, that kind of stuff. So all in, you're going to be spending around about $4,001 a month, inclusive of everything: monthly installments, petrol, insurance, road tax, servicing, everything in. So the minimum salary you must earn in order to afford a car like this, you have to be minimally earning $5,008 in order to uncomfortably afford the car. But if you want to comfortably afford the car, then you have to be earning at least around $20,000 a month. Okay, just some background about Alpine. Alpine is a French manufacturer of race cars. They have won multiple championship titles over the past few decades, including the 24 Hours of Le Mans, the FIA World Rally Championship. They have won over 26 domestic and international race titles. So the A110 is a lightweight mid-engine sports coupe. And when I say mid-engine, I mean that it's right behind me. So just to give you guys some context, most of the cars have the engines at the front of the car, right? And then some sports cars have the engines at the back of the car, which is why sports cars sometimes don't have a trunk, but they have a frunk. But this car is very well balanced, so the center of gravity is amazing because engine is right behind the driver's seat, and that also means that when you step on the pedal, you can hear the roar of the engine right behind you. It sounds amazing. Okay, so I'm adding this scene in because I totally forgot to close off the video in the car just now. But anyway, Alpine is also having a current promotional campaign where if you purchase an A110 Plus, they're giving you a complimentary upgrade to the A110 GT. That is around about a $40,000 upgrade. Complimentary. Okay, so I'm going to leave the details somewhere on screen. If you guys are interested, do feel free to give them a call, schedule an appointment, head down to the showroom. Anyway, so just to end off the video, my experience driving the Alpine A110 Plus for the past 2 days, I would say that honestly it's faster and louder, and it sounds better than I actually thought it would because I've watched videos of it online before I collected the car. I like that it handles so well. It really hugs the road when you maneuver the curves and the bends. So my opinion is that if you're buying this car as a weekend car, I think that's perfectly fine. But if you're buying this as a daily driver, just note that the trunk and the front will get quite hot after driving the car for a bit. So you can't put food in there. Electronics not advisable as well. I kind of left my phone, camera equipment all inside, drove around for about an hour, 2 hours, and when I took out my phone, it was really hot. About a 15-20 minute drive, that's fine. But if you're gonna be driving for about half an hour to an hour, sometimes the trunk front, it can get quite hot. So just something to take note. It's a fun car to drive over the weekend. It's fast, it's zippy. But for grocery runs, not really ideal. I mean, generally I feel like if you buy a car like this, it could possibly be a second or third car that you wanna just enjoy over the weekend, then yeah, sure, then that's fine. They don't have glove compartments either. You know, usually at the bottom of the door, there's this small compartment where you can keep small things like a mini umbrella, maybe a bottle of water, that kind of thing. They don't have that either as well. So there's limited space inside the car. But I guess, I mean, it's okay for a sports car. I mean, sports car, you're not buying it for the practicality, right? So if you're okay with that, I think the Alpine A110 is amazing. It was such a fun to drive. So I'm gonna plug the video again. If you guys haven't watched me surprising my parents and my friends with this car, feel free to do so. Link in the description. Thanks for watching today's video. I'll see you guys in the next one.